Welcome to Michelle Reads Books. So today we are talking about the Scarecrow of Oz. The Scarecrow of Oz is the 9th Oz book. There are a total of 14. And I don't know if you know this, but Oz books are ironic. L. Frank Baum is kind of a master of irony, of literary irony. And the Scarecrow doesn't appear until past halfway into the book. And that is true of most of the books that mention a specific character, that they are not actually the main character of the book. So, also, I fully intend to do a review on the other Oz books, but since I have read them longer ago, I don't want to reread them necessarily, but I will refresh myself before I write them. I just wanted to let you know I will get to them at some point, but I thought I'd start with the one I read most recently. So this is the Scarecrow of Oz. I'll give you a summary first and then my opinion. Trot, a young girl, and Captain Bill, her guardian, got caught in a whirlpool and ended up getting transported to another part of the world. They come out in a cave. They worry about food because while Captain Bill seems to have a lot of things in his jacket, he doesn't have much food. At one point, an orc shows up, which is kind of like a very large bat. He explains that he had been sucked into the whirlpool after flying too close. The orc has a great sense of smell and smells freedom from the cave through a narrow passage in the back of the cave. They wander in the cave using candles for light for a while, eventually coming to a precipice. The orc offers them to fly them down to the bottom one at a time. They safely make it to the bottom and find an exit from the cave. There are some very fruitful fruit trees, and they are able to get something to eat. After looking around this new area, they discover it is an island. There is a lot of life on the island, but only one other person. They call him the little old man of the island. This man is very negative and can find something bad about every situation. He was so pessimistic that he was exiled to the island by his people so he wouldn't make anyone else miserable. They discovered there is a kind of light purple berry on the island that shrinks you down very small, and another one, a dark purple, that will restore you to your normal size. The refugees realize that they can use this to travel off the island. They tie Trot's bonnet around the orc's neck, pack several dark purple berries, and Trot and Captain Bill eat the light purple berries and shrink them down. They then travel in the bonnet off the island around the neck of the orc. They end up finding land and land on a mountain where they see a house. Trot and Captain Bill escape from the bonnet and eat the dark purple berries, so they come back to their normal size. They meet a bumpy man who allows them to come in. He serves them molasses candy for dinner, claiming that it is very cold and would snow soon, although the refugees do not find it cold at all. A few moments later, popcorn drifts down from the sky. The bumpy man goes out to shovel the snow. While doing so, he discovers Button-Bright, a young blonde boy. He said he had gotten lost, which he evidently did a lot, and they decide to take Button-Bright with them. To continue their journey, they decide to cross a nearby desert. The orc volunteers to carry them one by one across the desert, as he is not strong enough to take more than one at a time. On the other side of the desert is Jinx Land, which is a corner of Oz so remote that they rule themselves because of the difficulty of people to travel back and forth. They meet a gardener's boy named Pon. He was sad because he was in love with Gloria, who had been a princess when her father was king, but now that her uncle had taken over the country, she was very carefully guarded. Pon's father had also once been king, taking over from Gloria's father before being defeated by Gloria's uncle. He wants to marry Gloria, but the evil uncle is keeping them apart. The evil uncle wants Gloria to marry Googly Goo, who has a lot of money. Yes, really. The refugees decide to talk to the king about Pon's situation and ask what they should do. The king welcomes them in and gives them each a room. The orc has since left to continue his search of his home country, Orkland. While sleeping, the witch transforms Captain Bill into a grasshopper. He is distinctive for his wooden leg, which the grasshopper also has. The king also plans to freeze Gloria's heart so that she will no longer love Pon and will be willing to marry Googly Goo. Yes, really. Meanwhile, Glinda the Good of Oz has noticed what has been happening in Jinxland via her magic book. She decided it's time to intervene. She sends the Scarecrow into Jinxland using a magic rope she gives him so that he can make the journey, crossing mountains and chasms to get there. Button Bright wanders away and gets lost again. Trot sees Gloria being carted away toward the witch's house and looks for Captain Bill, but she can't find him, so she goes to Pon instead. Trot and Pon follow Gloria secretly to the witch's house and witness her freezing Gloria's heart. Pon is heartbroken that Gloria can no longer love, but is convinced that his love will melt her heart. However, her heart is thoroughly frozen and she refuses to marry anybody at all. In looking for Button Bright and Captain Bill, Trot eventually finds the Scarecrow. When the Scarecrow learns what has happened, he decides to confront the king and ask him to surrender. They talk it over, and Pon decides to confront him first. He is quickly overpowered. Meantime, the orc returns and finds Button Bright, bringing him to the others. He also reveals that he has found his home country. The Scarecrow goes to confront the king. The king sentences the Scarecrow to be burned at the stake. Before that happens, the orc shows up with friends, and they rescue the Scarecrow. The Scarecrow uses a magic powder on the witch that causes her to shrink. She begs to be cured of the shrinking, but the Scarecrow refuses until she reverses the spell on Gloria and Captain Bill. She quickly does this, and both are restored to themselves. After this, the Scarecrow uses the remedy of the shrinking powder to stop the shrinking, but the witch is quite small now, and it is irreversible. She tries to hex the Scarecrow, but discovers her magic powers are gone. The Scarecrow crowns Gloria as Queen of Jinxland, and she marries Pon, inviting him to rule with her as king. The refugees ask the orcs if they were interested in becoming larger in exchange for carrying them over the mountain into Oz. Several volunteer and are made larger by eating the dark purple berries. They carry the Scarecrow, Trot, Captain Bill, and Button Bright over the mountain, and they land safely on the other side. They then begin their journey toward the Emerald City. Dorothy eventually meets them with the Sawhorse and takes them all back to the Emerald City, where they are welcomed into the palace. Trot becomes friends with Dorothy, Ozma, and Betsy Bobbins. Captain Bill and the Shaggy Man become friends. Everyone takes care of Button Bright, who tends to need it. This book itself, how do I feel about it? I think it is very cute. If you like very whimsical, stories that change really fast, then this is a great book for you. It's clearly for children, so be prepared. If you want to read something for children, then it's great. Would children like it? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is absolutely the kind of books that children would love. So if you're looking for something to read aloud to your kids, this is great. So yeah, take a look at it if you're interested. It only takes I'd say about 3 hours to read all the way through, depending on your reading speed. But yeah, so have fun with it, and happy reading.